Hello friends, Tanya here, and I am featuring the Spellbinders Four Petal Sunflower BetterPress plate, which for tonight and tomorrow remaining is available free with the purchase of the BetterPress system. If you haven't gotten the BetterPress system, this might be a very good time to do so. Here you see my very well used BetterPress system and the Four Petal Sunflower set. It comes with a large background plate and with a sentiment plate. Now you can BetterPress or do letterpress with these plates, and you can hot foil with them. I'm going to do two cards on this video. We're going to do hot foiling and use the BetterPress as intended. Here I have a piece of 5x7 cardstock. This is Nina Desert Storm cardstock in 80-pound weight. I have a piece of gold foil here that I've cut to 6 inches long off of the roll. I used the Best Ever craft tape to create a hinge and slid that gold foil under it. I've preheated my platform. I'm going to put it back in the platform, let it heat up and set the timer, run it through my die cut machine, and here is what we get. Isn't that gorgeous? I decided to color this with Copic markers. There is just something amazing about coloring on craft colored cardstock. It takes the color very well. It doesn't change the nature of the color much, especially if you use color pencils or alcohol markers. You can watercolor on it also, but you have to use very little water. So I am using a darker yellow. I believe this is Y19, and then I am using YR27 to add some shadows to the petals. I have some yellow greens and greens to do the different greenery. And I have, I think it is E27 for the centers of the sunflowers. You are going to be able to buy this BetterPress plate individually. So if you already own the BetterPress system, you can still pick this up without having to get a whole new BetterPress system. You also can get it if you just want to hot foil it with it and you don't have the BetterPress system. Do I love the BetterPress system and do I recommend it? Absolutely. It is so foolproof. It comes out with such gorgeous results every single time that I think this is one of the things that beginner stampers should get, especially if they plan to continue with this hobby and build a lovely collection. It's one of those things that you will get such gorgeous results every single time. I'm just adding a little more coloring here. There is a border around this 4-petal shape in the center, and I decided to color it with a little bit of shading with the same colors that I used on the larger leaves. So I did around the corners with the darker green, and then I'm coming back and filling in with the lighter green. And that completes this gorgeous frame. Oh wait, I forgot. I was not happy with the barrenness of the center of this 4-petal design. So I took a couple of the E30s. I think it's E31 and E30. I started with the E31, E31, which is the darker of the two markers. Then I blended it out with the E30, and then to blend it some more, I brought the colorless blending marker. And that is the finished coloring. Now I'm going to take the sentiment plate from the same set, and we're going to glimmer foil the center or the sentiment in the middle of this frame. I've again heated my platform up. I'm using some polished brass, I think, because that's what I had a scrap of. And because we were able to tape that in place, we foiled that in exactly the spot we wanted. Now I did foil this again on the same cardstock with the same foil and fussy cut that out. And I'm going to add that on the inside. We're going to adhere this panel that I cut down to 4.5 by 6.5 to a 5x7 card front. This is sized to fit exactly on a 5.5 by 4.25 inch or an A2 size card, but we all know how I feel about A2 size cards. They are not my favorite. I love a different size card. So I'm going to take this panel or piece and trim it with my paper trimmer, my little guillotine here. And then we're going to adhere those pieces at the top and the bottom of the inside panel. Since these are about 5.5 inches long, I do trim them down to just under 5 inches to allow room for the card to close completely without this catching in the hinge. So I'm just lining it up using the flat edge as our guide to keep it nice and straight and trimming off the excess. Again, this is on Desert Storm cardstock and it foils beautifully. I haven't tried foiling on Desert Storm cardstock with a regular foil plate, but I think I have to do that. It is gorgeous. You can use Portobello or Dune cardstock. They both foil beautifully, and those are from Spellbinders, and they're actually the same weight as the cardstock I am using here. Very smooth, beautiful craft colored cardstocks. One's a little more warm tone, one's a little more cool tone, and this is kind of a neutral tone. Just adjusting this so it fits just the way I would like it. I had first placed it a little closer to the fold in the card, and that was causing some issues. Trimming off the excess there, and that almost completes the card. I decided I needed another sentiment. We have the All You Need sentiments. These were the November Glimmer of the Month kit, and you can see my quick and easy sorting mechanism there. It's just some copy paper that I folded into eighths after I created a pocket on each side and stapled. Now that was card number 1. This is card number 2. We're going to actually letterpress with this. I'm using some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink here. You could use the BetterPress black ink. This is just a bigger pad and I thought it would be fun to use it. And I am using the Spellbinders watercolor paper. This comes out next month. For some reason thought it came out this month, but in just like a week this watercolor paper comes out. It is a good watercolor medium. It does take watercolor very well, nice and bright, and it's easy to mix and blend, and yeah, approved. I like it. I'm using some Daniel Smith watercolors here, and you can see my swatches at the top of the screen. I do this for all of my watercolors. I do swatches so I see what colors they are. There's little codes on the sides of my watercolor pans, so if I'm looking for a specific color, I can just look at those. And with this style of watercolor, you can mix your colors to create custom colors all constantly. And that's one of the things I love the most about watercolors. It is so easy to mix your own colors in small batches, and it goes a long way. You will see that I have to mix 2 greens here more than once in order to get enough color, and it seems pretty foolproof. I'm just taking a couple swirls in the pan of one color and a couple swirls in another and get the blend that I really want. I used a brighter green for the small leaves and a darker green for the large leaves, and by mixing a darker green and the lighter green I used on the small leaves, I have greens that aren't the same color, but they do coordinate well with each other. They're in the same family. Here I'm mixing a little more of that green just to finish off the different parts of these sunflowers. And in order to make a brown, I'm taking the one and only brown, which is a very reddish brown, in my pan, and I'm mixing it with some of the darker green. And I'm adding that to the sunflowers, and I decide that it is not quite dark enough. You're seeing me use the thirsty brush method there, where I'm drying my paintbrush off and picking up the excess water on my cardstock or my watercolor paper. I've mixed some, I think it was a deep purpley blue with that other green, or sorry, with that brown to create a darker, deeper brown. Now I have a gold brush here. Now this is something I got from Spellbinders. oh, probably 2 or 3 years ago out of their clearance rack. I think it was a, oh golly, is it? It might have been like a Dina Wakley or something. It's a gold brush tip marker, and I just outlined the frame in that outline with it. And next we're going to use the 3D embossing folder. This is the Autumn Serenade. Absolutely stunning. I took a piece of 4.25, sorry, 4.5 by 6.5 inch craft colored cardstock, embossed that, and now we're going to use the Pearl Lustre Gilding polish. Now is when I'm wishing I had some of the Simon Hurley lunar paste. No, sorry, not lunar paste. The solar paste. The solar paste goes on white paper, a white color, and on black it is an iridescent color, a different color. And I think that would look really cool on the craft paper. Next, we're going to add a sentiment from the must-have sentiments. This is a reverse foiled version. I have a bunch of these pre-made, so I could just pull it out of the package. I think that is matte gold, maybe, or no, satin gold or satin rose gold. And I glued that to the center of the sunflower cluster. Next, for the inside of the card, I'm going to hot foil both the the sunflower frame and the sentiment that comes from this set. So I did the sentiment first, and now I have centered the sunflower frame around it, and we're going to use matte gold. Matte gold and satin gold are slightly different. The matte gold is a little more yellow, and the satin gold is more less gold. And that is both of the cards that I created today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, now is a great time to do that. Check the description box below for all of the products that I used today. If the list is too long, it will have a full visual link list right at the top of the supply list in the description box. I would love it if you took a moment to leave me a comment below telling me what you liked about this video. Anything. I just love to hear from you. Until next time, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.